Welcome back to the Broker Power Up podcast, the AIME podcast for strategy, stories, and insights to help you close more loans. I'm Tommy Golightly, joined by Jonathon and Haddad. How are you?
I'm doing better, man. Been sick last few days, just getting ready for Fuse, but here we go. Feeling a lot better.
Thanks for trucking along with us.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot to go over today. We have the Broker Buzz, where we'll dive into the top posts of the week in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group and discuss what's trending, what's working, and what you need to know. Then we'll do the sales pitch training, where John helps us become better salespeople. And then we'll wrap things up with story time with John. But first, fortune cookie.
What do we got?
And I am bringing the fortune cookies to Fuse. So come say hi at the podcast booth, and we'll do a fortune cookie together.
Did you see the booth layouts, by the way?
Yeah,
I'm posting them hopefully sometime this week because those are unreal.
We have a post on AIME going out as well. So
that I'm just kidding.
Curious.
Yeah,
you can look at the AIME page as well. Today's fortune, the month of January, will be filled with exciting adventures. I don't have any plans for January. Do you?
The month of January we filled. I don't know. I don't think I have anything that I can think of just yet.
I have an adventure to Nashville in October.
God, you're getting so good at that.
Or I'm going to learn how to become a better salesperson.
No, I don't have anything for that. We're gonna hold on to that one.
Okay.
I don't have any crazy comments for that because I don't have anything that I know that is planned just yet for January.
I have a bunch of adventures planned, just not for January. I might go camping. A friend of mine just had his first daughter and wants to take her winter camping. And I was like, that's a dumb idea. But if you're going to do it, he is like a backpacker. He knows.
Okay, it's his thing. I was going to say, I guess he's down.
Yeah. And I was just like, but can I go with you if you are insistent on going? So maybe that'll happen in January. We'll see. But let's dive into the Broker Buzz with our first question this week. Haven't done a full doc loan in a while, so do not laugh. I have a young couple about to get married, and they had their engagement party and got a bunch of cash, an Armenian tradition. Now, if the fiance gifts the other fiance the money, wires directly to escrow. Am I going to have any issues? It's pretty much all cash that was deposited in his account. They are pulling the money together for the down payment. It's a Fannie Mae loan. My fear is the sourcing of cash deposits.
Okay, so I am Middle Eastern. I'm also Armenian. I'm about 50% Armenian, 50% Middle Eastern. In our culture, in that Ottoman, I guess, esque culture back in the day, cash has always been just part of our culture for the longest time. My dad did not believe much in the banks growing up. He wasn't born here. He was born overseas. And it's just it's something that's gone back generations and generations. So what does that have to do with the mortgages? How does that take into effect? A wedding gift is a real source of funds, just to be on the same page here. You actually can source wedding gifts. Now, because it's all cash, it's obviously going to make it incredibly difficult to do so. So what you're saying is, can I do this work around? I would highly encourage you to just be forthcoming, explain where it's coming from. You can showcase the wedding cards. You can showcase
I was going to say, can you
venue.
show photos?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can showcase whatever you want in an instance like that. Just be forthcoming with it. I understand what you are trying to do. So for those that don't understand, basically it's, hey, fiancés, one of them is going to move it into their account, newly married. They're going to move it into their account and then gift it to their spouse is what they're trying to do without sourcing the deposit. Because with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, if you send the money directly to the closing table and to the title company, generally speaking, you're not going to be asked to source the deposit. But in every instance, I'm always a big fan of CYA. If you don't know what it means, look it up. We are a kid-friendly show over here, so we're not going to go down that path. But CYA is always the path I take whenever it comes to loans. And here's why. If you're in the court of law, God forbid, I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm saying this is the absolute worst case scenario. What you don't want is to say, well, they got married, so I thought it was fine. It's just not a good look for you or for anybody else. And people can make a narrative and do whatever they want with that. So be forthcoming. Wedding is fine. They might give you additional loopholes and things you have to jump through from the lender and underwriter side, but I've absolutely used gifts from a wedding, and being able to prove it should be pretty easy, especially from that cultural perspective. Get the client to write a really good letter of explanation, just explaining the culture. Mine goes back really deep. My mom had a black book, and basically whoever gave us money, she would return the favor when we went to one of their events, see how much someone left. It's very standard in the culture. So that's what I would do in that instance.
Very cool. Learned something today for sure. Second question. Borrower wishing to do an FHA cash-out refi, but they've got 230 days lates in last 12 months. DTI is under 30 and LTV is at 55. Any chance we could get an AE, or should I not even try?
You should not even try in this instance. So if you go to the FHA handbook, you can find it online. It's really easy, although right now there are some loopholes on government websites, as I'm sure some of you are seeing on Facebook, it is what it is. With that being said, it's on page 231. 230 of the current handbook. It'll specifically lay out maximum lates on a cash out refinance. And in this instance here, that will not work. Tommy, I'm going to send you actually, I'll send you the link in here. It's on page 200, the bottom of page 230 of this PDF document. The actual document number is 207. The PDF is 230 to 231. But if you want to post
link will be in the description
for them. Yep. You want to post a snapshot of it, you can. It's a guideline, nothing you can do. If you have an extenuating circumstance, sometimes FHA is lenient, but it's got to be pretty aggressive. Like, the client, God forbid, got extremely ill and was in the hospital. Like, it has to be something that extenuating. We've had one before where, a client's spouse had passed away, and they had missed payments, and we got the death certificate. That's not an easy conversation to have if somebody has lost somebody within 12 months. Like, that's the conversation I had to have, but it was the only way to make it work. This client really needed help. She didn't know what to do. I said, look, I know this is a touchy matter, but I need the death certificate. I have to prove it, and you're going to have to craft a letter, explain the situation. We submitted it to FHA directly. It got approved. They accepted that exception because of extenuating circumstances, and we were able to overcome the guideline. But if it's not anything like that, it's got to be real. Don't just make it up, extenuating circumstance. If that's the case and nothing's there, this is a guideline specific thing. Not going to work. With that high of an LTV, that low of a LTV, look into non-QM products for something like that. There might be somebody out there with that much equity that might want to do something on a loan like that.
Cool. Definitely good information. And our final question is, everyone charging pre-approvals for credit reports these days? I am still covering and wondering what the consensus is on charging the fee up front.
So I come from direct to consumer originally, and credit reports, we never pass that on to the client unless the loan obviously closes, just like almost all brokers do today, if not every broker does today, unless they charge the client up front. I'm of the belief that I've been at this now for quite some time, and I don't want to be that realtor that says, I've been doing this for 20 years. It's just, I have a very good instinct when I'm speaking to consumers, and I can understand that process. For me, if you keep losing on credit reports, it's something that's going wrong in your call. Like managing the expectations. Now, if you're pulling credit and just every one is a low credit score and they just don't qualify, that's a different story. So let's break this down, actually, Tommy, into a couple folds here. Number one fold, if you're pulling credit and it's constantly clients not qualifying, and that's a different reason. So if it's because they don't qualify, go to your credit vendor, say, hey, I need you to do any score that pops up under 580. I want to make sure I only can pull one of those scores. So what you're telling the vendor is, I only want you to pull one credit score if the score is under 580. And what that'll do is that'll minimize your costs drastically. So we do that here at my company as well. I've been doing that for quite some time. So that's the first thing you can do to save money. I also do it for clients with a 720 or higher FICO score. because I mean, they qualify. We're good.
Yeah.
There's nothing,
Yeah.
there's really nothing to do. But John, what if? You're right. The what if does happen, but it is far and few between. For every 100 clients you qualify this way, maybe 1 or 2 slips through the crack, and then you pull all 3 scores and the score's under 720. But it's very far and few between, and it's a quick resell to that consumer and explaining the situation. But that's one way to save yourself money up front. Number 2 is, okay, I'm pulling credit, people qualify, but I'm not getting and seeing a return on this. And I keep losing and I'm not writing enough business to make up for the loss of my credit report. That's a conversation issue.
Yeah.
That's, hey, something's not going right with managing expectations. They're choosing to work with another person for one reason or another. In situations like that, it is really important that you are managing and speaking to the clients about what happens next, seeing what their interest actually is in working with you. Don't just talk about numbers to those consumers. Change the way that you're facilitating the conversations. And then the third piece of it is, John, what if I'm losing them on refinances? I pull a credit, it's great. They love the loan. I send them out documents, then they ghost me. Again, this is a managing expectation situations. This is something we call the post-close. So if you're having issues writing a loan and it's not coming back for you to get that client into process, you have to work on your post-close. What does it sound like when the client's ready to do business with you? Do you just celebrate and say, great, got a deal? Or do you realize that once the client says yes, that's when the real fun starts? That's when the real expectation starts. That's when the real conversations start. So those are my approaches to it. There's 3 different ways to get in front of it. I personally cover the credit report costs until the loan closes. There's a lot of people out there, though, by the way, that do have the client pay for it, and they still find success. Just not the method I grew up on, not the method that works for me, but I've seen it work for other people.
Cool. Yeah, I could see that. I could see it just being in sales, you want to reduce the amount of friction between the buyer and the purchase. And that is just one small piece of friction that you can eliminate.
100%.
Cool. Well, if you want your question answered on the Broker Power Up podcast, use the hashtag Broker Power Up when you post in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group. If you are not in there and you are not an AIME member, scan the QR code, go to aimgroup.com and become a member. And so you can post your question and have it read here on the podcast. And we'll be right back with story time or with sales pitch.
Are you a wholesale mortgage professional? Well, then the very first thing you need is a community to help you and your business grow. With AIME membership, your community is right here. Joining our community means never navigating the market alone or operating without a safety net ever again. We are 16,000 members strong of united wholesale professionals. From rookies to top-ranking originators, all dedicated to supporting each other's success so we can grow together. Beyond entry to the best community in the mortgage industry, AIME membership gives you the resources, tools, guidance, discounts, services, and support that help you and your wholesale business grow, thrive, and most importantly, close more loans. AIME membership connects you with leading wholesale lenders and vendors, offering you exclusive access, services, and discounts that save you more money while helping you make more money. Never get stuck on a loan again with our lender escalation program. Grow your network and skills with the wholesale industry's best conferences and networking events. Get the strategies and skills of top originators and industry innovators with AIME's cutting-edge wholesale mortgage education, resources, and content. AIME offers all of this and more, starting at a low price of $19.99 a month. You heard it here first, couple cups of Starbucks coffee. For you to learn more and get started, all you have to do is visit aimegroup.com, AIME group.com /membership. Your community is waiting.
And I'm waiting to become a better salesperson. John, what do we got?
All right. So, Tommy, this one is a very simple strategy and technique that gets overlooked so many times. So, this is the future pace technique, basically. So, PCT PCT is how this works, PCT. And what you're doing when you're speaking to a client is you have to understand the psychology of people. Most people will more than likely, they can make a decision slightly faster if you can paint a visualization of what they are potentially walking themselves into and tying an emotional need and a benefit to it. We've had conversations like this before, probably several times, but I want you to understand the psychology behind this here for just a moment. Now, I am a believer in myself and the product that I sell. I am somebody that's first generation Middle Eastern American. We've had this conversation before. I didn't understand home ownership, neither did my family. Reason we understood it is because I got into it, and so did my brother, and so did my sister, and now my brother-in-law. And it's just a family business at this point. But we did not grow up understanding how it works. What I do believe and why I believe I am the best fit when a consumer calls me, I want them to work with me. I believe I am the best fit for that client because I'm a big data-driven person and I understand that home ownership is the path for you to gain net worth. It's proven over and over again. You and I have had this conversation before. It doesn't make you a millionaire, like some people say. Oh, you become a millionaire. But on average, they have a higher net worth by, I think, close to like $300,000 than somebody that rents. So
provides stability.
It gives you a tremendous amount of stability.
And allows you to plan for that down the road.
And it teaches you responsibility, teaches you how to pass that down to your children. There's a lot that comes into it for me when it comes to buying a home. So with this practice, I want you to keep all of that in mind when it comes to me breaking this down. So the P is paint the scene. You want to paint the scene, regardless of what that scene might look like. You really want to break that down to the client. Number 2 is connect on the emotion. And then number 3 is tie the action, PCT. Paint the scene, connect on the emotion, tie to the action directly. So in these situations, you might have a client, they find a perfect home, or they're looking for the home, or they're reaching out to you, they're trying to get pre-approved, they're a first-time home buyer. Painting the scene is something like this. Hey, imagine walking in to your new home on move-in day. Is that a thought that you've ever had for your family? Is that a thought that you've ever had, being a first-time home buyer, that you'd be in this position to be able to do this?
I moved in. I remember my move-in day very vividly.
So what was it like? Do you remember the feeling behind it? Do you remember what was going through your head? Look at the smile on your face right now because of it.
Honestly, the thing that I was most excited about was my wife and I had moved religiously every 2 years since we graduated college and started living together. So that was 5 apartments every 2 years. And then one promise I was made when we were moving into the house, we're not moving in 2 years. So I was very excited to be able to just like have the stability of this is where we are. This is going to be our payment. This is what we're going to be able to project for the next year. This is like, it just allowed so many things and not having to worry about rent going up. Of course, taxes go up, taxes change, payments change, but not to the degree. And it was just provided us such a form of stability that we were able to plan for a lot more and do a lot more and save a lot more.
And you know what's crazy? So like now even the second part of what you said, connect the emotion.
Oh yeah.
So in your situation, I would say something like, Tommy, over the last 2+ years, you guys have moved 5 times in and out constantly of different apartments, trying to figure out where you and your family want to be. It looks like we found the potential perfect home for the two of you to give you that stability that you've been looking for so you can focus on the future for you and your family. Is that a goal the two of you have?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And do you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. That like people will take it, well, John, that's not, what do you mean? I am here to talk to you about something that's a really big deal. I'm giving you one hell of a loan. I'm giving you a great rate. You're working with a broker. You're working with somebody that's been doing this for over a decade. You're working with somebody that cares so deeply about home ownership. It runs so deep in his veins because of him being a first generation human being that didn't understand it growing up. So I don't have any issues tying in the emotion to something like this and connecting with the emotion.
It's important.
It's very important. Like, think about that goal for the two of you.
Yeah.
We can make this work. We can figure it. It's better than renting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just said it. It's better than renting. Like,
and our cats have so many windows to look out.
and then the last piece of it is tied to the action. So what you're going to do is, right, you build it up. What's it going to feel like? You bring in the emotion, and then you tie it to an action. Tommy, look, the only thing stopping you from getting into that house and getting the stability that the two of you are looking for is me just going through a full application and ensuring I can cross my T's and dot my I's. Things look good up front, but I really need the rest of your documentation so I can ensure that you and your wife can get into this home with little issues, and more importantly, give the confidence to the sellers that you are the right fit for this home so you can continue to grow and build the stability in your life for you and your family. That's the tie to an action. So we painted the scene, we connected with the emotion, and we tied it to an action. And there's nothing wrong with that. So y'all, please stop just talking numbers. I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you. It's not just about numbers. I worked in retail for 6.5 years. We sold higher interest rates than anybody. And you can look it up. You can see how much higher of a rate we sold. And my team of 12, 13 people was doing $1.2 billion a year in business. That is thousands upon thousands of mortgages just by a team of about 12 or 13, depending on the year. And it wasn't because we had the lowest rates. So yes, rates do matter to an extent. I'm not going to tell you they don't. But building the emotion and the connection is deeper and will allow you to build the business of your dreams and the ones that you want. If they see it, and you can paint the vision, they will believe in it. But you have to learn to paint that vision.
I do see when I'm going through the Brokers Are Best Facebook group, I do notice the tension of people not getting the docs from their borrowers and stuff like that. One piece of advice, if you are struggling with that as someone that went through it, ask them before, when you ask them for it, and they say, yeah, I'll get that to you. Ask them if they sound a little bit uncertain at all, ask them if they know how to get it.
Oh, I like that.
And so if they don't know how, they'll tell you to get off the phone. They'll tell you, yeah, I'll find it and I'll send it over. And then they'll spend 10, 15 minutes looking for it and then give up. And then, so if you just offer that assistance of, I can help you find it. If you have any questions on helping, is that something you would be able to do? Be able to help them, point them in the direction to go get the docs?
Dude, here's why I love that, because, and some people might say, well, John, but what if it's screwed? What if they don't like, you can hear it in somebody's voice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have your license? Yep. Got it. Bank statements easy to get? Yep. Can get it. What about your homeowner's insurance declarations page? That right there is your tell, y'all. That right there is your tell. So that is a hell of a tip. Hell of a tip.
Cool. Well, if you want more tips, stop by the AIME podcast booth at Fuse. No, come to Fuse, get your ticket, and scan the QR code, and we'll be right back with some sales pitch training.
Fuse is just around the corner, believe it or not, another year down. And we are excited for the largest event of the entire wholesale mortgage industry. Fuse National Conference 2025 is taking its show on the road. Now emanating from Nashville, Tennessee, from October 23rd through the 25th. This event is all about sales, sales, sales. Don't miss the chance to join us in Music City for 3 days full of the most cutting-edge content we've ever produced, featuring the industry's top minds, leaders, and innovators. Access the newest tools and resources from wholesale leading lenders and vendors. Take part in our acclaimed workshop summits for free. Catch wholesale's rising stars in their very own breakout sessions. And of course, take part in the best and, quite frankly, the most fun networking opportunities you'll find in the wholesale channel. Join us to grow your network, your skill set, and your business at what will no doubt be the greatest Fuse conference yet. Go to fuse.aimgroup.com to sign up and receive updates when tickets go on sale. Secure your hotel room and get your Fuse tickets for free. That's a $600 value for the prices as low as $199 when you sign up for an AIME annual membership. Don't miss your chance to be there when wholesale history is made at Fuse 2025. I can't wait to see you there.
All right, and we're back. John, the floor is yours for story time.
Painting the picture, the future pace technique. There was a legendary entrepreneur back in the 1800s by the name of P.T. Barnum. I'm sure some of you know who that name is. He was somebody that helped explode the circus scene. And that was a big thing during the day. And obviously, I know if you look back, there was a lot of things that happened through there. And one of the areas for him is he exploded a scene that had never been done before. Matter of fact, the way that he started blowing up his business is he'd go into these towns and he would plaster these posters all over the place in these towns. And it would say, the greatest show on earth. You must see it to believe it. Now, here's the crazy part about that. At that point in time, not one person had seen it. Not one. But he's saying it's the greatest show on earth. The greatest thing you will ever see. And sure enough, as you know, the scene exploded. No one had seen it yet, but they all thought that this is something they could not miss. They had the FOMO. When people would read his ads, they could see themselves walking into these big tents. He would talk about them with so much emphasis and explain why it was such a big deal and why it was so important and what you were walking yourself into and how you could enjoy your time in there and how you could bring your family. He painted the vision. He painted a picture. And these were people that have never been to a circus before. They never even understood what it was. All they knew is something big was coming to town and they wanted to be a part of it. They could not miss it. And when I read stories like this, I do think about our business. The amount of times that people want to reinvent the wheel. Listen, there are some new things you can do. But the reality is, if you look at history, a majority of the sales techniques and strategies have been done for generations. All you have to do is read a little bit. All you have to do is go back. So P.T. Barnum, he never said, come see my show. He said, come feel what you've never felt before. How many of you, when you talk to your clients, give them the impression that you need them? How many of you feel like you're walking on eggshells when you talk to real estate agents? You talk to financial advisors. Come see me. I need your business. Give me your business. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, John, I don't do that. Your energy might be saying something very different. And we've all been there. Nobody wants to say, oh, I'm itching for business. I want your business. We all have too much pride. We have too much ego. But in order to be the best at your craft, you have to learn to set that ego aside. And the faster you can understand it, the easier it becomes to paint the vision. The easier it becomes for you to attract people to you and not the other way around. Isn't that the business we all want? You wake up, your appointments are filled from 9 a.m. to 5. And all of that happened because of who you are as a human being. You didn't have to go out and do a bunch of work. You put in the work, and now people are coming to see you. The greatest show on earth. And they put on a show. When people came in, they were ready. Every part of it was built out. Every part of it was strategized. And I sit here and constantly ask myself, how prepared and how strategic are we coming into each week? Or are we reactive? And we don't know the direction we're going to go. I don't know how this call is going to go. This is on you to start building a vision and creating the future of your dreams. But it starts now. starts now with the tough conversations. It starts now with managing expectations properly. It starts now with you. So, are you the type of person that puts out the energy that says, come see my show? Or are you the type of person that puts out the energy that says, come feel what you've never felt before? Because whether you believe it or not, every person you interact with feels one of two ways. Which energy are you putting out? That is today's story, my friends.
Love that. I have fond memories of going to the circus with my parents as a kid. Pittsburgh a lot.
It's deep, Tommy. It is deep in our history, my friend. And that's what's crazy. Like all this stuff, people get triggered by so many things. You know how it works right now.
Yeah.
Triggered whatever it is and whatever you feel. But a lot of what pops up in our life now has just been so deeply rooted in whether it's in American history, regardless of where you're from, if you're from Europe or if you're from the Middle East, like I am, there's so much deep history that comes back up. And even you just bringing up the circus.
Oh yeah.
You grew up at the same time I did. This is 100 years prior to you and I being alive.
Oh yeah.
And it still is resonating with people hundreds of years later.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's reiterating on the wheel. No one's inventing the wheel. So I don't know. It's one of those things that people get so focused on doing things a certain way just because it's been done that whole time. Sometimes that just means it because it's the right way to do it. Other times you should go off and try new things. I'm not saying that. You should definitely try new things, but it's just one of those, if there's a tried and true method, you got to follow it. And greatest show on earth, Fuse.
Yeah.
Get ready. No one has ever seen this Fuse before.
They haven't.
Different, and it's going to be a blast. I'm so excited. And also, that got me thinking, future Fuse, are we doing circus themed and you're just coming out as a ringleader?
Dude, we will announce where Fuse is at next year. We got it early, but we don't have a theme yet. But you're throwing out some good ideas.
I'm thinking. Let's get through this one first. But thank you for tuning into this episode of the Broker Power Up podcast. If you found today's tips helpful, do us a favor. Hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed it, which helps even more people see this content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring the bell to get notified every time we drop new content, and share this video with a fellow broker who could use a power up. Remember, lead by example, lift each other up, grow together, and most importantly, close more loans. Until next time, keep powering up.